Ash maybe potentially here, but it is the LeBlanc, the Jace, and the Braum banned out by Top Esports on the blue side. LGD on the red side banned away the Renekton, the Trist, and the Rumble. It's the first pick Leona for Meiko, so he's like, I'm taking shot calling and play calling duties right now.
I'm just gonna say, man, Meiko, JackeyLove, Leona, Misfortune lane sounds very, very scary to me, especially since Braum has been banned out by Top Esports. That means the bullet time will be flying through pretty freely from the side of Top Esports. And we do know, and we did put our fingers onto JackeyLove and Meiko. We pointed at them and want them to have a more decisive early. We want them to take over games, and that is a take over bot lane.
We'll try to pair that up with something strong. I love that we're getting a little bit of flex of the muscles of JackeyLove and Meiko. Need to see them succeed. Top Esports is going to find any success. They were a very strong point, Top Esports' successful play, but I really like the counter setup right now for LGD, especially with the Ashe already being there. Janty Crisalero's going to find a lot of access to Top Esports. It is looking like maybe a little bit of a safe play here so far, though, as it is the Ezreal, which we've seen rise to priority.
I'm expecting potentially a Lucian maybe for Creme onto that mid lane. Does pretty well into the Corki again. Great jumping throughout all the stages of the game as well. I said I wanted to see Misfortune for JackeyLove. Hey, I'm not gonna complain. He's one of the best Ezreals around the world. Ooh, it's going to be the Zeri for Creme.
So I would say there still is a question of flexibility depending on which matchup they want to take there. Ezreal has gone mid as well, but I would like to see JackeyLove on his Ezreal. It is the Nautilus as the answer now, and you see JinJiao getting a little bit stretched out, ready to go, because he's going to have a big task against Meiko on the other side.
All right, AP junglers right here. No jungler has picked anything neatly out of the ball. We have Brands, we have Zyras, we have Lilias. Tian has showed a pretty good incline towards the Zyra. He's had some pretty good Zyra games overall. Doesn't necessarily match the theme of going forward, neither does Brand. So I'm considering that Top Esports might be looking towards something like the Lilia that wants to go forward together with the rest of the team.
If you just find those go forward buttons, can lead to a lot of success. I like the TF actually. Taking away some of the gold card access as well. And 369 going to be blocked out a little bit on his team fight setups for the team. We'll see what he ends up going with. It is the continuation of the AP jungle focus. The Lilia joining that Nidalee.
Wow, I was expecting Top Esports to actually go towards that Lilia. However, Top Esports was more aware about LGD sneaking it away on that R4 against Zyra Brand. Very prominent in the jungle right here. However, I don't know, these champions again want to move forward. It is going to be the Zyra anyway. Top Esports have a lot of gold buttons, so all those gold buttons onto a Zyra Stranglethorn and a bunch of plants that can slow you. Can be extremely scary.
So 369 going to go with the Cassante. So some team fight access there. And we saw the kind of standoff between which AP jungler was going to go which way. It is the Zyra for Meteor. And on the other side, Tian, I feel like in the placement stage was one of the best brands we had in the league, but it is going to have to be the choice now for him to find a lot of success from the jungle with that pick, because it's the Narp that ends up getting picked up for Burdol.
And I feel like Burdol had such significant games on the Jace in the series yesterday versus FPX. He is a true carry top laner, and right here, he does have the tools to bully out 369 in that early game. Nara is one of those champions where it doesn't necessarily cross your mind as a snowball champion. However, you can cause a lot of damage. Very much agency in terms of being slippery on the side of Top Esports. However, Ezreal, Zeri, not very easy to pin down.
That's what you're trying to play through if you can for Top Esports, is maybe some of that slipperiness. But what are we taking stock of for LGD here? They need this win. Are we kind of content with the go buttons that they have for themselves?
I love the fact that they went from the Nautilus, one of the big quote-unquote counters in terms of chasing over an Ezreal or a Zeri that can E through a wall, both of them. And you do have a bunch of follow-up in terms of the Corki and the rest of the champions with the Gnar finding a nice flank. So LGD do have pretty good go buttons in general to try and force these fights around. The question mark is going to be, how are they going to play through that early game to try and find some priority to allow Meteor to play a little bit more freely in that early game?
Well, we're getting into this one now. Top Esports playing catch up in the games they need to play, but LGD far into their split. They cannot go 0-5. And Top Esports need to prove that they are above the bottom half of Group Ascend. We're getting into game 1 now, and as we hit Summoner's Rift, let's hear those JinJiao. Let's go. I love to hear it. All right, Shanghai has got the energy for us as we crest over into our second best of 3 of the day. It is all the importance, all the weight, all that stuff we were talking about, but really it comes down to brass tacks, and we're getting to this level 1 for Top Esports.
Again, this is a very clever tactic to try and invade a Zara early on. You gotta stand still for those few seconds of that early game to try and get your seeds to spawn around the same proximity so you can get as much damage as possible when you bloom them into flowers with Zara to try and have the faster clear possible there is. We'll see that junglers are gonna start towards different sides of the map. Top side for Zara towards that bot. Tian starting at his chickens. Not been spotted yet. There haven't been any wards sneaked into Tian's side of the jungle. So he will be able to go completely unspotted for the early stages of the game.
We'll do a check-in on those AP junglers as it comes to a head here. They are just perfectly fine with farming. Down here, we're not fine with farming because we're looking at 2v2s consistently between these two. And I think it's important to see who's going to be gaining out in kind of priority of the lane.
Of course, it's Meiko and JackeyLove. No one looks at farming when JackeyLove is on an Ezreal and Meiko has so many go battles on a champion like Leona. This is why it's so much fun, and we'll be talking about the dominance between Meiko and JackeyLove towards that bot lane throughout many iterations of JackeyLove bot lanes. A lot of the times, not necessarily the blame, but the proactivity, the way they're playing together has fallen onto JackeyLove supports throughout the years. And Meiko is a general in the LPL, more than 6,000 assists in the LPL. He is an absolute veteran, if you will, in the scene. And through Spring has showed that he works so well with someone like JackeyLove, who likes to play the more aggressive, proactive plays down the ball. And they have dominated a lot of them, a lot of the big bot lanes as well, including Elkin on. So a resurgence back to Prime would have to start right here versus LGD.
And you also have to think going up against Kepler down there as well, as LGD have been going back and forth for the 80s. Meiko was spotted mid. Meteor was looking for an angle. JinJiao right behind him, but nothing else is going to come of it. Love to see these supports getting out onto the map early, though, because they need to stay active.
Great senses right there as well. Oh.
They actually get Meiko. That's his flash. That's huge. Leona loves to be aggressive with the flash. Now not going to have that one for 5 minutes.
Ooh, sneaky pathing right there from Meteor and JinJiao. They get towards mid, but then they dip straight into Tian's bot side jungle. Great stuff right there, taking the flash off of the Leona. Pretty big right there, especially when you expect that Leona and Ezreal lane, especially if you have the push down the bot lane, you could create potential opportunities for a dive together with a brand. And usually how those start is by a flash Q from Leona, 369.
Oh, they actually get 369 at a dumb truck of trouble here, and they actually get him out of there. Burdol not comfortable going forward because he has the combo back up.
Oh, the Q just about hitting the creeps right there and getting blocked by the minions. 369 having those in his payroll. Thankfully for him, block for him this time around. But that was a very, very close call for that top side. And there's going to be a TP coming in through by 369 to not lose any of these creeps. However, Burdol has plenty of time in the world to get back to his base. TP back in with more items, try and bully the melee versus ranged matchup on the top side of the map.
And as we get to it, I think we're going to get a little bit more focused down towards bot side. So I want to continue a little bit of the conversation for Kepler because he's got a lot of weight on his shoulder here as LGD have been going between him and Shaoye. But Kepler are very well known for his time in Demacia Cup for JDG and their LDL squad as well. Now it really has a lot of tasks on his shoulders as a main engage tool for LGD, and also with the 3v3 on bot side kicking off, where his jungler gets half of his health tanked out of him immediately. 3 plants, though, going to get a decent amount back, and both junglers trading blow for blow.
And reminder, when you have Ezreal and Leona, they take control of the lane and then try to set up for dives. We literally just said this a couple of seconds ago. JinJiao
Gotta be careful, though. They have so much chase down here. They got to try to turn the fight there. Both supports getting low. It's going to be the go forward from JackeyLove, though, and he's looking to pick up multiples. As you had Meiko pick up that first one, Kepler's the one that picks up the kill on the side of LGD, and it's a 1-for-1 trade.
LGD come out on top of this one. It is going to be onto Kepler that gets the kill. The other side is going to be Meiko onto that Leona. Gain a little bit more power early on that Ashe. And we set up that dive earlier on. You've got JackeyLove on Ezreal and Meiko on Leona. They exert so much pressure on that bot of the map that setting up for dives is huge. Again, Meiko not having his flash there really did hurt them. Meteor?
We ain't stopping this train yet. Both AP junglers love these grubs. And LGD is going to be front and center for this one. JinJiao having roamed up as well. Could be kicking off depending on what this top side looks like. And the crash from Burdol gives them a lot of safety to start this one up. True Shot Barrage just got used to see vision, and they will see it started.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult for 369 to move out of his lane, which means Top Esports will be playing with numbers disadvantage in this river. They're going to have to unfortunately drop these grubs, and LGD, pretty good reply so far. Not only do they manage to equalize the scoring kills down the bottom of the map, they grab the Void grubs for themselves, which could prove to be extremely useful later on. Corki eats up tower, same as Gnar. You get Burdol a little bit further ahead on the tops of the map, where he already is 300 gold up on his own. Gain more damage onto the towers. You could be a serious side lane threat.
And taking a look at the stock of where the advantages are, it's not going to be much of an advantage for Top Esports so far, but I also look to a little bit of the strength that they're going to have through JackeyLove with a little CS lead, but also the lane in a great position to force Kepler away, and the dragon is up, so I can't imagine Top Esports making a play there. Burdol is getting all outed by 369. He's just going to hop, skip, and a jump his way to safety.
Just about jumps away, but on the bottom of the map, Tian is already wrapping around. He's going to try to clear a little bit of that vision, but Meteor is reading the play, and he's on the top of the map.
Got the Mega Gnar, has to flash out of the wall up there. Burdol almost pulling the play with Meteor right behind him, but now we look at bot side. 3v2, Pyroclasm ready to go. It's going to be used. There's the combo. Kepler already down. JackeyLove going forward and ends up claiming the kill. Now Creme is here. The Ultra Shock Laser to make matters worse. And that's going to be 2 quick kills on bot side for Top Esports, but 1 in trade to Kepler.
4-man bot to try and get Meiko and JackeyLove ahead. Creme is going to yoink one of those kills as well for himself. Gain a very strong Ezreal and a very strong, I call it Ezreal number 2, because Zeri does resemble a little bit the abilities of Ezreal right there. Let's watch this one more time. Again, we said how Top Esports were going to be setting up for those waves down the bot lane. Meiko, great engage onto Kepler, absolutely demolish them, especially with so many bounces onto the brand ultimate too. Creme just about in time. You're going to get shove mid lane throw from Haichao and a shove from Burdol on the top side of the map. Luckily for Creme, he got that kill, so he does find himself about 400 gold in the lead right here. And I'm starting to get worried here, Mazel.
Yeah.
We talked about how Gnar needs to be the side lane huge threat. And even though Meteor has been trying to play through the other side, the sleeperiness of Creme and JackeyLove later on in the fights is going to make it so difficult for Burdol to find an opening.
And their team fighting is just going to be so ridiculously strong. Now LGD will use some of that push from bot side to maybe start up this dragon. They are under vision doing it, but there's really going to be no contest so far from Top Esports. But this is where that coordination conversation we were talking about makes it a lot easier to have, because you're ahead, and it makes coordination a little bit more simple to pull off. We do end up seeing that dragon go over.
So I've sat behind a few scrims from pro players, and usually what happens when a team falls behind, you'll have your strongest player make calls in terms of what fights you can take and what you can't. So depending on how confident the player that's ahead in your team feels like they can take the challenge, they'll make calls. So right here, LGD are looking at Burdol. When is this Gnar strong enough to bring him into these fights or skirmishes to try and find the TP? So far, LGD have done pretty well for themselves. They've got 3 Void Grabs, they've got the first Dragon as well. They can stall enough for Burdol to be strong enough to try and create these opportunities for themselves.
Problem is it going to be enough, especially when JackeyLove is just starting to run away with the CS differential between him and Kepler. Kepler always going to be impactful. The Enchanted Crystal Arrows, they are always going to have a say, but I'm a little worried how much more of a say JackeyLove is going to have in these fights. The double marksman comp for top esports going to be coming alive maybe sooner rather than later, but we do have the next spawn of Grubs, and Grubageddon is on the conversation for LGD.
As you can see, JackeyLove is already heading towards that top side of the map. Doesn't have the Trinity Force very crucially yet. However, Creme has just completed a static shift. Does have TP to get back in. He's going to use it now to get closer to that fight. And LGD have the first dip into this river. Burdol with a great Mininar bar as well. Yellow going towards that red will be able to transform pretty much on demand from here on out. And top esports are going to have to figure out a way on how they want to move into this river because LGD have every opening guarded.
Meiko just going forward, putting his body on the line, and he's already down. The lightning crash though right back, and now they have a lot of AoE damage. There's a nice trade between supports. Now you're getting top laners coming down as well. They'll see no more engage from there. LGD not feeling confident to move forward now that JinJiao's gone and giving over the Grubs. But Burdol still here to contest a little bit. Wants to take one away if he can. Is not going to be able to do so.
Again, you see the proactivity from Burdol. He stole it. Huge.
Oh my god,
Huge.
that is such a lapse of coverage from top esports.
Burdol did this primarily for himself. He is most likely the beneficiary of having 4 Grubs on your team. You're going to be constantly on a side lane trying to take down those towers, create some pressure for LGD.
That is
and top
massive.
esports. I thought this was going to be a really difficult fight for top esports to insert themselves because LGD had every opening to the river pretty much covered out.
That's
Let's have
permanent.
a look at how this started again. Meiko just walks in. He knows he's committing his body to disengage, but LGD throw everything at him. And when you group up into a Brand, Ezreal, and Zeri, all these bursts that came through from the initial engage and the ultimates just burned LGD's health bars that they had to back out so they don't lose more members.
Oh yeah, it's Smite! Oh my goodness. The reason why
Tian.
it's such a big deal is because that is literally a permanent buff. The Might's now spawned for LGD. So if they ever find a teamfight win, they will have heavy presence around turrets. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one if it does become a big issue. But until then, it is LGD with lasting damage done. There is still, though, the question of more fights coming because Rift Herald is going to be spawning in under a minute on top side. But top esports been putting pressure on bot and taking turret place themselves.
Yeah, they've got a lot of vision towards that bot side of the map as well. Creme is moving too. They might be potentially looking for the next wave. It's not going to be the case. You said it, 30 seconds for the Rift Herald, a minute and something for the next Dragon. LGD can very easily, if they want to forfeit the next Rift Herald, try to start stacking a few of these Dragons, earn themselves a little bit of time. The more time you earn, the more time you give Burdol on a side lane to utilize the Void Grab's buff that he earned himself.
True that, and that's still the conversation the whole game we're going to have to keep an eye on. Now we are on first items for everybody, so everybody's got a little bit more say to their punch. And there's a ton of pings from top esports moving everybody towards this top side for the Rift Herald fight.
369 is going to head towards that bot side. Seeing Ashe on the map, you know that Kepler does not have TP to join that fight towards the tops of the map. And indeed, it is LGD. They're going to forfeit that Rift Herald and start stacking those Dragons. It's a very clever play right here. The more time you create for Burdol, the better it is. 3-man top side. Can you survive, Burdol?
He almost gets got there, but not going to. And now he has the Megadar coming up. So it's going to be top esports that need to either wait this out or find an engage as this next wave crashes because they'll have it for just a little bit longer. He's going to try to clear the wave as best as possible. Here it comes. Hits Tian, and this sets it up for a 2v1, but it still doesn't matter. The CC chain Meiko, another turret shot's not enough, and top esports, they execute the dive on top side.
the perfect diver here from Top Esports. Meiko just about almost loses his life, has to flash out. That arrow from downtown from Kepler could be a huge tool for Burdol to try and turn this around. And Top Esports are very quick on the trigger right here. They know that if they shut down Burdol early on, that is pretty much the win condition in that early game for LGD. Burdol's been getting ahead. He's been bowling 369 around, and this is the nature of this matchup as well. Towards the top side of the map, stole the Void Grab buff for himself, trying to push down the towers, put some pressure on the side lane. Top Esports are not going to allow none of that. They're going to be the ones taking that top lane tier 1 tower for themselves.
Try to get as much of that standing gold going for themselves. They're already about 3.5k up, and now even trying to get it. Tian is going to smite it away. Steals away Meteor's chicken nuggets right from out of his hands. Now we got TP play on bot side. Burdol is the focus yet again, but a back going to be completed by 369 as Creme comes to reinforce him.
I actually want to talk a little bit about Creme because there's always that question of, hey, this guy's an assassin player. This guy's so good at Silas and at Kali. When they picked him up, Top Esports, they got him a little bit developed on things like the Wei and the Azir, and he looked really good, the Karma even. So a lot of those enchanters and mages down the mid lane. How good is your AD carry, Creme? Because now he's being tested once again with a different flavor of mid laners, Tian. He's gonna force the flash.
And if you look at it, yeah, I mean, there's no out for Haichao. You have Meiko coming on the wall, but I don't even know if they need him. They're gonna burn him out, and that Corgi's got a little bit of fire under his butt as Tian will claim his life in the side lane. And Top Esports continue to find advantages.
Don't worry, Meiko is not even gonna claim that he helped with this one. It's like your friend where they give you the first few sentences to write when you start in an essay because you have writer's block, and they're like, okay, start your essay with this paragraph. And I'm not even gonna take any credit for it. That was Meiko right there. He pops down the old stunts, Haichao in plays. He's like, I'm not even gonna take credit for it. It's all you, buddy.
And I love the conversation about Creme that you were mentioning and kind of going more into that. Obviously, big fans of Creme, although obviously his Akali is still ridiculously strong. But it's been a really awesome moment of growth watching him come over to Top Esports as we take a look at that top lane.
Yeah, Tian is going to stick around. Again, the changes onto Brand a while ago allows the ultimate to bounce off of the Brand. Makes him a great dueler as well. Top Esports are diving tier 1.
Oh, they are way too deep, and that turret goes down, but it is also traded for 369.
All right, they will take the objective. They will lose their top, and what can LGD take? Meanwhile, there are now no waves pressuring. Only one on the top side of the map, but the one on the top side is quite a bit dangerous for anyone under that Burdol to go and grab that one. Especially when you've got mobile characters such as Ashe and Zara, you cannot show up on wave that deep without the coverage of a tower right behind you. It's gonna have to be Burdol moving towards that top side of the map. Next objective on the map, 2 minutes. It's going to be that Dragon. Meiko's just chilling around, but he is standing on top of a control ward. He's gonna figure it out sooner or later.
And I think in that last little series of events, we're starting to see some of the power that being ahead brings to Top Esports. That's been kind of the name of the game for them. When they have a lead, they really are a team that can stranglehold you, which I feel like a lot of our top teams have been. But it always still is that question, is Top Esports a top team so far with some of the losses they've taken already in the Rumble stage? We are on second items now for Tian and Creme. The Rallies, a really big power spike for the Brand. I'll be getting close to those on the other side for LGD.
Yeah, these slows are getting very annoying in the fight, especially when the ultimates is bouncing around. The perma slows all over. Of course, Meteor is going for his own Rallies later on. The plants are doing the exact same thing to Top Esports that a lot of the times want to push forward and dive into the fight. Now, Top Esports in here, you asked it as well, you mentioned it early on, are they dominant enough? They have been. They played through the bot side of the map, they took that early tower off, they kept feeding money into JackeyLove and Creme. Creme is now sitting at a 1k gold lead over his counterpart in the mid lane on a Zeri that he chose himself that matchup to go up against the Corki. We usually do see the Lucian, but this time around it was the Zeri, and he has proven to be a big weapon in those team fights for Top Esports. He's been very willing to dive forward, get that initial damage down with that ultimate, and now with 2.5 items in, he's a powerhouse to be reckoned with.
It's just really nice to have both kinds of damage, right? Like, the Zeri is always going to bring you tons of AoE damage within these fights, and JackeyLove's going to have the pinpoint mystic shots that are going to be doing so much as well to the singular target. So they have all kinds of options. Now those options going to need to be on full display as we get ready for a dragon. This is sole point for LGD, but they might not be able to fight it.
The Top Esports has first move into that river. They do have a couple of wards around LGD, so they can't see what's happening. They're going to commit the TP right here. Burdol's coming in.
His Meganar just came down, though.
Mini.
Yeah, so he's in a lot of trouble there. He doesn't really have the engage potential that the Meganar does bring. As 369 has now TP'd, he is much more scary than the Mini-Nar right now, and LGD just realized they have to give that one away.
Oh, and this is the unlucky timers that you get when you don't necessarily have the engage that you're looking for. Top Esports are looking to flank around.
They can find the long-distance engage there for Meiko. Does have the solar flare, but now Burdol is going to be getting really close to a Meganar, and they are headed to a choke point here. Burdol has the game probably deciding fight here, but they aren't going to be confident because they can't get Meteor and Haichao on the other side, and Top Esports are able to fight their way back to mid-prio.
Yeah, as you mentioned, mid and jungle had already started heading towards that top bot side of the map. Top Esports are taking advantage of the numbers here that they have over LGD, moving their vision straight forward. That's exactly what they do. You give them an inch, they take a mile. One person shows down bot lane. Top Esports take your jungle.
Oh my goodness! I don't even have words. JackeyLove claims the most free kill of his life, and now it might just be Baron over to Top Esports.
You cannot make these mistakes versus Top Esports. They know they have numbers advantage. Haichao is showing all the way down the bot lane. He's tipping in, but his mana bar is super low.
Now they do have second item for him. They do have a little bit of poke. That TP will signal Top Esports off of the Baron, but they got what they came for.
They can use any TP's advantage. You see halfway gone already for Top Esports. Half the cooldown is gone from their teleport, so they can possibly use this to their advantage when the teleports are back up to pull LGD across the map. And again, like, you cannot make these mistakes versus Top Esports. When they know they've got numbers advantage, they will advance. The second they see Corki show up, literally the millisecond that Corki shows up in that bot lane wave, Top Esports are already in your jungle.
And they have the go buttons from Meiko to have that. And you have to remember, this is a first pick Meiko Leona on blue side. I love that they were just like, Meiko, drive us to victory here. And he has been crucial. 100% KP, and he has been the leading force on this team so far.
Absolutely. He's been dictating how the fights start for Top Esports. He's been more than willing to throw his body in just to get a big stun, get a big engage for themselves. And even though he's died 3 times because he gets caught in all that AoE coming in from LGD, it's resulted in Top Esports winning majority of those fights. Now 369, he's a level down onto Burdol. But he's still doing Cassandra things.
Yeah, you know, Cassante still has the memes, still has the copy pasta, never going away anytime soon. As now we actually see LGD struggling to really find out where they need to put some bodies. Obviously, Burdol's going to be strong in the side lane. Maybe they just put the bodies right into Meiko.
That's a body.
As he gets caught out, Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to be flashed out of by him. So no flash to Leona is big. LGD tried to pounce.
And LGD are trying to find picks. Anyone that overextends gets anywhere near eyesight for LGD. They try to pounce onto, and that was a pretty good pick right there. They don't really commit any summoner spell. They take the flash off of Meiko. Leona, very potent when she has flash. She can literally flash Q. And that's an instantly 3-spell CC that's going to land on the target if you flash in Q.
Yeah.
It's a pretty potent combo following an E and an R as well. So taking that flash off frees up champions like Kepler's Ashe that are extremely mobile. Still flash and cleanse up onto Kepler, but this will make it a little bit easier for him to pressure a little bit further forward.
He's still been very behind on CS, but I like that he's been still active.
Creme.
He's going to fall for the same trap. Oh, no. He's going down, too. Nice pickup from LGD.
What? There was no vision there. Creme. What in the world was that? Walks down the river straight into a trap from LGD. And again, LGD have been very willing to pull out these traps. Whoever walks in, they end up killing. I feel like I've seen this iteration of back and forth for like the 50th time this game between Cassante and Dar.
I'm just saying, question mark pings are getting so much worth this game right now. Like they're There's so much value in those question mark pings. But those questions still remain. We have another dragon coming up in 45 seconds. The last time the question was asked, and LGD weren't able to answer, and now they might not be able to answer a Baron that's just being absolutely cooked to a crisp right now for top esports. Already halfway down. Burdol has to get Meganar, has to do something, and Chance Crystal Arrow is going to hit, but the Baron's already going down. It's going to end up being secured by Creme of all people, and now they just need to get out of dodge. Creme's going to end up flashing. Kepler looking for the slowdowns as Burdol's getting Meganar going for it. Oh no, JinJiao! He's not going to get it, but it's Burdol! He sacrifices his life for a 5-man, and it doesn't matter. All 5 big purple capes are alive and well for top esports.
Top esports are so quick to react. This whole chain of events started by JackeyLove canceling 2 resets from LGD. Top esports, knowing that the resets were cancelled, they took the numbers advantage into that river, took down the Baron, and sure, they will sacrifice the 3rd dragon going towards LGD and a soul point for them. But top esports are marching through those lanes, taking control with a Baron buff as well. Let's see how many things they can take. Only 3 standing turrets outside of LGD's base.
Their siege is so strong with the Baron buff here. And they even have sent Creme to the side lane right now. The Zarya is going to be taking that very quickly. If you don't know, Zarya with the kind of passive autos and as well as her Q, take turrets very quickly. They are going to be rebuffed a little bit in the mid lane, but Creme is hitting good on that tier 2 and top side.
I just saw the graphic right there. 31% damage for JackeyLove's Ezreal. Prioritized, of course, right here. The wave's gonna crash over the top of the map and the mid lane at the same time. Nice dodge right there from Tian and Creme.
That's the thing, though. You try to do that, that means you're seeding pressure somewhere else. That means you're just dying, maybe even in your own base. As the passive hits, the Ultra Shock Blaze as well, he's burning pretty heavily. They will defend the inhib in mid, but they're losing their inhib turret in topside, and it will end up going down.
They have to commit a lot of ultimates for that one. However, they committed the ultimates to zone LGD off of those towers. They've taken the hard part out, which is the towers. And right now, the easy part, which is the inhibitors, mid lane's going to fall. Top lane's still going to remain. But they do have more than enough power. Right now, 6,000 gold in the lead for top esports. A very decisive mid game for them.
This is the answer we needed. This is top esports at the top of their game. Even if there were some major catches in the side lane, it still has been consistently strong from top esports in a series where we were asking so many questions coming into it if they were going to be able to prove themselves against LGD, and so far so good as they have an over 6,000 gold lead.
Now top esports still have Baron for about 20 seconds. They're gonna use that Baron buff towards that both of them up to try and pressure in another wave. Creme's gonna Baron up the wave. For Burdol to not be able to clear that as fast as you could if it wasn't Baroned up. 5 seconds and it's gonna be gone. There's 2 cannons there. They've taken every single outer tower. That's the only one remaining outside of LGD's base. Standing gold for top esports. Ooh. I'm not sure who would hurt more. JinJiao taking that Q or JackeyLove?
I think JinJiao is going to be on the receiving end of some hurt if he takes that one for sure. Creme actually has a lot of pressure in mid, and it's going to be something that LGD need to collapse on to deal with, because you also have 369 who's been working on that top side like a nice molded clay pot, and they're going to move that into the inhib while they also siege the bot outer turret.
Classic top esports, all 3 lanes pressuring at the same time. You see 369 building up that wave towards the top side of the map. They really do want to take a taste of that inhibitor. Bringing this one down will pretty much guarantee you that all this pressure is going to have to get soaked by someone when the dragon comes up as well in 2 minutes, and LGD are going to definitely be looking for that soul for themselves.
I think one of the hardest things for LGD's side of things is they just haven't been able to get the big combo off so far. I mean, Burdol's been throwing himself for these big Meganar ultis, but it hasn't been able to combine with the Stranglethorns, with all the damage. And top esports have been taking advantage of the split nature of LGD so far, and they're going to continue doing that. An outer tower in bot side and the inhib in top. They are just pulling them to pieces.
And they didn't have to commit anything to that. It was literally just 369 showing presence. He was there. He was ready for the dive if LGD wanted to press that forward. Now, Meteor heavily poked. Again, this is LGD Soul, and it's an Infernal Soul. It could mean that there could potentially be a comeback with that extra damage coming in from the Infernal Soul. However, Top Esports have the entirety of the map covered for themselves. JinJiao right there. Oh, as we see.
The backstop.
Nice ult onto Tian, but that was it.
It will be back
that
up.
was it.
I believe very close to, at least, for that next fight. Now, there wasn't also another item completed for Kepler, and that's where we'll talk about the entrances. Again, I already kind of foreshadowed to it, but the LGD entrance looks like a Burdol engage a lot of the time, and Kepler will have a lot of say in that, pick out pieces, but really it's going to need to be a centered team fight, and that's hard to say against a team fight comp like Top Esports have.
Absolutely. Burdol has not had many successful engages in this particular game, and he is going to transform into Meganar. Top Esports see this. They still have a wave. They're trying to create some pressure onto the map as well. Creme is going to be put to that task, an entire level up, and Burdol is mini. Almost getting jumped on.
Creme not going to really have an answer if he pushes into those turrets, and Top Esports know that, so they're going to let LGD start up the Dragon while Creme is just winning the fight at the Nexus turrets. They did end up getting Haichao back, so it's a 2v1, and Top Esports, now that they know that, they're just going to go all the way in. LGD, you've left your back door open, and there are intruders. But now Meiko, he's trying to separate as Burdol comes in to try to get Meganar. Already, though, 369 has sliced JinJiao from the team. Creme hasn't even come yet. He still has TP. Burdol getting close to Meganar. Kepler slowing down 369. This is big. Burdol, he needs to get Meganar, but it's going to be the pyroclasm and damage down from Tian that's burning LGD. Creme going to end up backing, so not TPing to the play in Top Esports. They tried to make a death bite onto LGD, and now they'll just get the Dragon for it instead.
It's insane how much pressure Creme creates in that mid lane, pulling both the solo laners of LGD to try and stop them, forcing almost a death toll onto LGD, playing 3 versus 4 in that river, and LGD almost turning this around now. Might be losing the second Baron. Meteor is around, but do you want to commit and lose your life?
I don't know if he does. They will spot him out. He's not even going to go for it at the end. Just throws a couple little plants over the wall, and it will be a Baron buff secured by Top. Oh, JinJiao! JinJiao, that's a wall there. The flash coming out. He will survive. That was so close, and now Nautilus has no flash engage except for the Hex Flash.
Ooh, overextension right there from JinJiao. That does not belong to you. The jungle is... has Top Esports written all over it for quite a while now. Oh, Creme, Creme diving through that wall aggressively, has to burn his flash.
And
Maybe a little
still,
bit too much aggression.
yeah, you know, just falling into the tempo a little bit. They are looking to get these waves under control, though, and especially this bot side, as we see 369 taking his position down there. This is the last inhib turret on the table, and Top Esports want to take some of that standing goal. We take a look back at exactly what happened. Yeah, a little aggressive.
Jumps through the wall, JinJiao's there, throws the Q. Creme does not want to be given not just a shutdown, but slowing down the tempo. If you die right now, it's quite a few seconds that Top Esports are going to have to play as 4, and when you have the bar buff, it really kills off that buff really quickly.
Right now, I want you to watch Meiko. I want you to watch the general in action as he steps forward. 100% KP, and it's looking like it's going to continue. They got the Stranglethorn down. There's the AoE, but is it going to be enough? You still have JackeyLove picking off Kepler. Tian with the burning bush is going to take him down, and now Meiko, he's giving his life. Tian's still very low, but it's still JackeyLove and Creme who are kicking it up a notch. True Shot Barrage comes across, but not going to hit Haichao. And this could be the final siege. Top Esports looking at all 3 inhibs now in double super minions.
They already have double super minions towards the top side, but they want more kill. Oh my god, 369!
369 just ins himself into the turret there with the all-out on the Burdol. And that might actually just mean the siege can't be completed by Top Esports. Oh no!
Oh, 369. I'm not sure that this is exactly what he was going for. Might have been a misclick. But yeah, I feel like that was Top Esports' push right there. Tian is laughing at it, so clearly I don't think this is how it was supposed to go.
He wanted to go, you know, off the map, not to the Nexus
to the
fountain.
right.
Yeah. Just so you know, that's not possible. So
Creme has found himself Burdol.
Oh my goodness.
Burdol as a Mininar doesn't win those. Level 18 Zeri with 4 items plus a QSS in the inventory, and they're gonna try to sync up the waves yet again. Only one tower is standing between Top Esports and that Nexus from LGD. It has been drawn quite a bit right here. Top Esports have had a few oopsies that have slowed down. Nevertheless, their finish.
Please, like, directed
servers.
cam this or something.
Misses the Q3 and is like, whoop.
Did he think maybe it was just going to stop him in the wall right there, but then he just had the angle that went straight to the Nexus fountain?
I love how you're trying to give him the benefit of the doubt of like an insane
369
play.
is the GOAT, all right? Look, I'm just saying. Oh my goodness. Well, Top Esports now, after that indecision earlier, we'll try to finish it off here. They're actually finding Burdol without the Meganar now. They actually get JinJiao too, and the wall bang there. It's at 369 trying to get Burdol. He will have Meganar finally, as Meteor was trying to clear the minions over. Oh my God, JackeyLove. He is sniping people with the Mystic shots. There's the true shot barrage across. 369 gets the knockback. Kepler's gone. A double kill for JackeyLove, and he's stepping it up to knock it out of the park. One last desperation for LGD, and a domineering victory for Top Esports.
A decisive game from Top Esports to signal that they're back in the LPL. It was a fluke, the 1 and 2 scoreline. They were just getting in what I call more official scrims. You know, all jokes aside, that was a very decisive game from Top Esports. Very Top Esports-esque in how it unfolded, playing towards the bot side of the map, getting JackeyLove ahead onto his Ezreal, feeding some money onto Creme as well by roaming towards the bot side, and 369 being the rock that we always know him to be towards the top side of the map, pressuring every single advantage in that mid game with Meiko's Leona as well. If I had to give an MVP, I don't even know who I'd give it to. I think they all played so flawlessly.
It has to be me. I mean, that man, I'm pretty sure he still had 100% KP. Anyways, we'll check all that after a short little break. We'll be